Five Rivers.
Years ago, when we came to Los Angeles, I really believed that the greatness of the Raiders would be in its future.
We live. What's going on, y'all? Hey, man. We're going to get the show started in a little bit, man. But
allow me to reintroduce myself.
Got to get through the intro real quick.
Welcome to the Las Vegas Raiders with PharoahNFL.
The prime thing is you have to win. You have to win.
Real Raiders conversations with Raider Nation.
It's just preseason.
Make sure to clock in. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
I get it. It's just preseason football, but at the end of the day, we were here to watch the game and figure out who the starting quarterback is. And do we really have an answer? I mean, you know, I was leaning towards AOC. I've been saying AOC is the guy. I appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to click and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Just want to do a post-game reaction. I know everybody's going live. Everybody's reacting to the game. But I just wanted to come through and just talk about my thoughts about the game and just give you what I think in real time. And AOC was the guy that I thought would take the position. He might very well be the starting quarterback for the Raiders. It's just at the end of the day, man, at the very least, ended on a positive note, not on a pick six. So, you know, at the man, and I was just watching a little bit of AP's presser. Hey, salute to everybody's pulling up, man. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I appreciate everybody coming through. Man, Raider Resistance in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. He says, yes, I'm still up working, man. Yeah, nonstop, 24/7, man. Hey, if y'all don't already, make sure to go over to IG and follow this page. You're probably already following him already, and he's still working, as you can see, man. I already know one of the hardest working men out here in Raider Nation, man. Appreciate you coming through. Born Raider, man. Appreciate you coming through. He says, AP has said the past few weeks, again tonight in his 1 minute presser, he wants a QB that can push the ball and get chunk plays. Aiden is neither of those. And that's a great point. It's a great point. AP, from what he's shown us in 2 preseason games, at least as far as the good positive stuff, he's able to show us that he can methodically bring the Raiders offense down, but he hasn't really connected on big plays. So, but then you got a Gardner Minshew who's kind of a boomer bust. You know, hey, it's nice when you're hitting those big plays, but then when you're, you know, near interceptions and putting the ball in harm's way, do you think AP wants that? We all know he's a defensive-minded coach. He's a linebacker coach. We all know going into the season, the Raiders' defense is supposed to be the identity of this team, right? Right? I mean, like, I'm kind of concerned about the Raiders defense, man. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure if anybody's talking about that. We're all pretty confident. I know it's, the season hasn't started at the end of the day. Like, we know it's preseason, but the Raiders have struggled to stop the run. I'm not sure if we've been getting consistent pressure. I know Max is not going to be out there, but the starters were out there for, I don't know, for a long time. I mean, I know Max probably left at some point in the second quarter. I know he played the first quarter. Christian Wilkins played into the second quarter with Max. But when they left, there was still about at least half the starters at the very least. And, Trey Lance was, the Cowboys, I should say, were running the ball. Trey Lance was, he looked pretty solid against the Raiders defense. Man, we got some haters in here, man. Hey, man. We got some haters in here, but it's all good, man. Hey, look, everybody's welcome. But I appreciate everybody coming through. I just wanted to get into, the nitty-gritty, man. And everybody's excited about this team going into next season. But the defense, at the end of the day, hasn't looked as strong as we would like it to be. And maybe the biggest concern is the quarterback position. And I know it is, but I'm also concerned about the defense. Because we know we know what we have at quarterback. Let's be honest. It's not going to be it's not going to be one of the strong points for the Raiders. They have plenty of weapons. They got a lot of guys that they can get involved, but is that defense as good as we think it is? It looked like AP was pretty disappointed, and I'm not saying at the end of the day it's preseason. I'm not really tripping off this score here, 27-12. We've seen undefeated teams go into the season and what do? You know what I mean? They didn't do anything, right? They didn't. It's not like they went to the playoffs or anything like that. So the preseason really doesn't matter at the end of the day. It really doesn't. So that being said, we got to look at the details of this team, and this team right now, they're struggling, man. They're struggling. Oh man, we got some haters in here, man. It's all good, man. Hey, hold on. Let me. I'm calling. All right. Let's see if I could get rid of this guy here. Well, hold on. Let me get rid of this guy right here, man. He's getting a little disrespectful. We're gonna take him out. It's all good. It's so easy to do this. Hey, man. Everybody's welcome until you get disrespectful. That's the rule. The tribe in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. He says we don't even have a QB on the roster. We're excited about developing for the next year. It's a wrap for the next 2 years at least. That part, bro. Man, I don't want to take it that far. I don't want to take it that far. Because I think we knew the entire offseason, I would say after the draft at least, we knew that, all right, you know what? We're going into the season. This is what we have at quarterback. What do we have on this team? Okay, we have a solid defense. We have a solid D-line. Can we run the ball? And to be honest, we've been so focused on the quarterback battle, and even AP admitted that the game plan was really to really have the quarterbacks have as much reps as possible. The Raiders haven't really got the run game going. I mean, hopefully that won't be a concern for this team. It won't be an issue. It won't be a weakness. But it's at the end of the day, it's not really. We don't even know what that really is going to look like. But we know that we have some talented tight ends. We got some talented receivers. Trey Tucker's looking good, man. From what those training camp reports, I'm gonna have to question those training camp reports because Trey Tucker, he looks legit out there. I'll say that. He looks like he's gotten better at catching the football. All those reported drop passes. I know AP earlier last week was talking about, you got to show us what you can do in practice before we can trust you in games. But hey, man, Trey Tucker, man, I think he needs to be out there. I think he needs to be out there for sure. Jalen Harris, I appreciate you coming through. He says, I'm still holding hope. I'm worried, excited for this season. Yeah, it's not. I'm not here to be doom and gloom. There's still excitement for sure because, hey, look, Michael Mayer, legit. Brock Bowers, who didn't suit up today due to injuries, quote unquote injuries, and he was not the only person that didn't suit up. Surprise, Devontae Adams. Remember earlier in this week, he was talking about, and we talked about this on Around the Shield, man. We talked about this on Around the Shield, man. And earlier in the week, Devontae was talking about how he didn't really want to play preseason football. And then AP says, well, if you're healthy, you play. And what a coincidence. DA doesn't play due to injury, I believe. You know, hopefully it's not too serious. If he is hurt, like, hey, look, at the end of the day, if he's hurt, he's hurt. But I just feel like that was a coincidence that he didn't play. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all, man. Two Stock says this fan base is so emotional. Were we all hyped after last week? I mean, yes. Part of fandom is being definitely emotional, for sure. Am I emotional? No, not really. I mean, I kind of knew that the quarterback position is what it is. But at the end of the day, you got to let it play out. We don't know at the end of the day what's going to happen. You can't really say that, oh, this is going to happen during the season, and you know, we can give educated guesses out here. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree with you to a certain extent. Yeah, the fan base can get, that's every fan base though. That's not just Raider Nation. That's just fans in general. But you can't tell me that, you know, what we seen today doesn't give you a little bit of like something to think about. Like, man. At one point you're like, oh, AOC is going to be the starter, but he throws that pick six. And I kind of didn't like that he didn't have that chance to come back. But at that point, it's in the fourth quarter. Do you really want to risk a guy getting hurt, especially if you think he's going to be the starter? There is a good chance he might be, but like my guy, Born Raider said, man, AP talked about, you know, pushing the ball downfield, hitting the chunk plays, and AOC, he wasn't really describing AOC. He was describing, he kind of describing Minshew out of the two quarterbacks. Jalen Harris says, plus again, this is preseason, and we literally been through this with McDaniels going 4-0. They're 3-1. Look where they got us. Horribly wrong regular season twice. Yeah. Yeah, no, I get you. It's just preseason. It's just preseason. But also you got to read between the lines too as well. Like, you know, I tried to say, oh, you know what? The defense is going to be fine. And it might just very well maybe be fine. But I don't know, man. We struggle to stop the run. And and if we can't stop the run, then that puts our, you know, talented pass rush at a disadvantage. We're not going to be able to get after quarterback because teams are just going to run the ball against us, and they'll be in third and manageable distance from down to down. You can't. Third and long is where Max Money makes, you know, that's his bread and butter. Christian Wilkins, that's where he comes in, right? Kuntz, that's where he comes. Third and long, right? Second and long, third and long. If the Raiders are not able to stop the run, then it's going to be tough. But there's still a lot of time left. There's still a lot of cuts. The Raiders have plenty of cap space if they wanted to sign a guy, pick up a guy. So this is a perfect time to evaluate, you know, exactly what they have and get the right players in, man. Because we might be able to pick someone up in that D line, maybe someone that can stop the run. Did John Jenkins play? I'm not sure if John Jenkins played. Let's see. Two Stock says, let's just keep it in mind. It's preseason and regular season. We wouldn't be pulling our starting QB, and either of those guys could have been bounced. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it's what sucks is what makes it bad is that, I don't know, you can look at it from two different perspectives. Is that, you know, these teams are not going into the game with a game plan. It's just really just beating the guy in front of you. And the Raiders haven't been able to stop the run. I just feel like the defense Jones was beat a couple of times. I was excited, and I'm still big on Jack Jones, but number 18, I don't even know his last name on the Cowboys. Is he even going to make the team? He was able to get the best of Jones a few times. I didn't like that, but I guess we can say it's just preseason football. But hey, something to talk about, something to keep in mind. Diesel says preseason or not, coach's look on his face says a lot. He knew things were off. Yeah, he's concerned. He is, man. He is, man. Hey, because his job is on the line. Because we don't know how much AP got paid. We don't know his contract. We don't know if he's gonna if he got a 2-year deal, 3-year deal, or it's just gonna be a 1-year deal shot. We know Tom Telesco is here for, he signed on as a GM. That was a Mark Davis hire. But I felt like, Mark Davis was kind of pressured to hire. He's the owner of the team. He can do whatever you want to do. But the fact that he apologized to the locker room when he fired McDaniels, because at the time he could have easily went with Bisaccia, the locker room favorite. Fast forward, they hire McDaniels. He fires McDaniels and then apologized to the locker room and then ends up hiring the locker room favorite and Raider Nation favorite in AP. But we don't know the contract details of Antonio Pierce's contract is what I'm trying to say. And, he's going to feel I think he's going to feel the most pressure. First time head coach, there's been people talking a lot of smack about the Raiders. I just hope that he's able to coach past this year for sure. I mean, I think he will, but it's just there's a lot of pressure on him. Jalen says, fair point. I don't know yet. It's hard to say for sure, but the Rushdie was concerned. Yeah, exactly, man. That's not something that we should ignore because the starters were out there. They were actually going against backups. That's why I'm concerned. They're going against backups. And I know both offense and defense, they're not game planning. They don't got to scheme out. They're not scheming out anything. It's just really about being the man in front of you. But at the very least, you would like the D-line to be dominating in some ways. And it started off well, I guess, but they gave up 3 points early to the backup Cowboys offense. Dak Prescott wasn't out there. It was Cooper Rush out there. Did they have any starters out there? I don't think so. I think there's something I think that's something to pay attention to for sure. Daniel Kim in the building. King of Mods out here, man. Appreciate you coming through. Says salute, Pharaoh. It was ugly today. Wilson has 0 twitch and no game. Sheesh. Daniel Kim already, man, throwing shots, man. Man, I'm going to watch the game again. But there was a moment where, I believe Trey Lance was rolling out. He had him. I know Trey Lance is probably a little faster than Wilson, but, at least he could have played it a little better. But he hasn't. Hey, man, second year, pick number 7. You got guys around the league that were picked after him playing better. I hope. Hey, but I guess the positive thing is that he'll have time to develop because he has guys in front of him that are going to be playing. Guys like Kuntz, Max Crosby. Obviously, they're going to probably mix him in and throw him inside to help him out a little bit. And, just hopefully he just develops. Let him develop. It's still time, but it doesn't look good, man. It doesn't look like he just looks like a project out there. Like he needs some time to develop, man. He don't have any moves. Armando, he says these preseason losses should motivate the Raiders to put it in another gear before the real starts. Yeah, I don't even think it's about the losses, man. It's just really not about the losses for me when it comes to preseason. It's really about certain play, the play of the team, When you see the stars in there, what are they doing? When certain players are in there, what are they doing? Who are they going against? Like, what type of decisions are they making, especially at quarterback? Like I didn't like AOC throwing that pick six against third stringers. And not just against the competition, it's just the decision. Like, man, if that third stringer can do that, imagine what's going to happen in a game where, they're going to have a full game plan on AOC and the Raiders offense. So the bet is for the Raiders, the quarterback play is it's going to be what it is. We all know we don't have an all-pro out there at quarterback. But I think what we can hope for, I think, is that the weapons around the quarterbacks are going to be pretty good, and they're going to make plays. Devontae is going to be on the outside. You got Jacoby Myers on the outside. Trey Tucker looked good out there. DJ Turner. Hey, there's a flag on the play. We're going to get it. I have it saved. We're probably going to bring it up and talk about it on the 50-50 show. But the Raiders receiver core, I like it. I like it. I like the Raiders receiving core right now. DJ Turner looks good as our number 4 receiver. Trey Tucker, I like him as a number 3. Jacoby Myers, number 2. You got Devontae at number 1. Then our tight ends. Zamir White looks solid. I'm not saying he doesn't look amazing when I watch him out there. He doesn't look amazing, but he looks solid. I wish Lobby had some chances with the first team. He did get in early a couple of snaps, but he didn't really do too much. Man, doom and gloom, man. Just another DJ says Raiders failed the eye test, preseason or not. Ugh. Damn, that's another one, man. It's another one, man. I'm going to be at that first game, man. I'm going to give y'all that. That's going to be the real eye test right there. First game, Chargers versus the Raiders in LA. That's literally the Raiders home opener, so make sure you're out there. If anybody's out there, man, we got to link up, man. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great game. Raiders going to get the win, man. I already know. Daniel Kim says, everyone looked flat for such an important game in the past. Yeah. I don't know, man. That was it wasn't really the results. I know you see the score right here. It's 27-12. It was just you would think that certain players would stand out, but Tyree Wilson, like someone mentioned in the chat, man, he doesn't look like he's going to be impact player in his second year. Last year, you could say, all right, you know what? He was coming off an injury. He was not going to be 100%. He was not supposed to start so early on, especially with the Chandler Jones situation. But this year was going to be different. A full off season, OTAs, training camp, out there with his boy Max Crosby and Kuntz, learning from the best, even Christian Wilkins. But it still looks like he needs some time to develop, man. But, it is what it is. Armando says, I still believe the Raiders defense will be road warriors of the AFC when it really count. Hey, you know what? Yeah, no, I'm not going against the Raiders defense, man. I like how they finished the season, but I'm like, oh man, if they're not able to stop the run, whew, that just makes everything even harder, man. It just takes away our biggest strength, and that's rushing the passer on paper. You got Max, you got Kuntz, you got Christian Wilkins. We're supposed to be getting after the quarterback, right? But if we're not able to stop the run, which we haven't done in preseason when the starters have been out there, going against starters, going against first team, second team, it don't matter. It's kind of concerning a little bit. But yeah, man, you know what? Maybe they're gonna make some moves, pick up some players, make some adjustments. When they're going against a team during the regular season, there's going to be an actual game plan. So a lot can change. You're right. So I'm not losing hope on the defense at all. Hard Dog 22 says, anyone else notice the route concepts having people running into each other? Not sold on Getsy yet. Yeah, I seen that last week. When AOC was in the red zone. I think it might have been a play where he had a sack. Obviously, the guy that around the edge was able to beat Andres Pete. But if you look at that play again, receivers were running into each other. So we'll see, man. Getsy is one of the guys. Shout out to Tape Don't Lie, Marcus. We had him on here, and he said that was one of the biggest concerns. Was Getsy. You got all these pieces on offense, but Getsy's offense, there's going to be a lot of pressure on there, but we'll see, man. It's still early. We won't know until the regular season starts because right now you can't really judge it right now just because they're not game planning. They're not. We'll find out, man. We'll find out during the regular season. I'm just looking at there's certain things that you can be concerned about, but right now it's a little too early. Two Stock in the building. He says, I really think the Raiders would be in better hands with guarding Minshew at QB. There's nothing wrong with having ASU sit behind a vet. Now, I look at it, Two-Stock, I look at it from the other side, and maybe you might be right, but I'm just looking at it from the other side. I'm like, maybe we start with AOC at quarterback, and then from there, if there's struggles, injury, whatever, you got a proven vet, been there, done that, been a backup, journey backup quarterback. He can come in with confidence and be successful. Right now it's pretty close. I've always said if it's close, maybe just give it to AOC. And it's not like, but if it's clear cut that, Minshew's way better, which it's not. It's not. Well, let's look at the stats of Minshew. I believe he's like 10 for 21, 95 yards. That's just not going to get it done, man. He's a boomer bust, man. Big play. And maybe it looks maybe he might be better when he has the complete weapons around him. Maybe Minshew might be the guy if you project him with the pieces that we have around him. I just mentioned the receiving core. I mentioned the tight ends. Hopefully the run game, because that's also a concern of mine, is that we really haven't been able to get that going consistently. But it's still preseason. It's so little. They've been so focused on giving quarterbacks reps and handing the ball off. The guys that really need the rep, like the Zamir Whites. I mean, Zamir White did play into the third quarter, I believe. He did play into the third quarter, but he's never been a starter before. I mean, I know he finished out the season last 4 games, I believe, and he finished strong, but being a starter is completely different for a full season. It's completely different. Let me pull up the Raiders team stats here. Raiders, let's see here. I think 10 for 21 was the final stats for Minshew. Let's see. Man, Diesel, I'm telling you. Turner, man, he got better. He got better, man. He had a post game after the game, man, like where he just said, like, I didn't want to be that gadget guy. I wanted to be a guy that could be counted on and to make key catches. Man, he looked good out there. Now, if you project it to the Raiders offense, fourth receiver, I like it. Hold on one second. Let me pull up the stats here. Let's see here. All right. So Aiden O'Connell finished 14-20, 96 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Obviously, that interception was disgusting. Pick 6, like his last throw. I almost felt like AP just put him back in there just to maybe leave in a better way, but Gardner Minshew 10 for 21, 95 yards. Look at that. Kind of like a glimpse of to what they can bring to the table. Look, Aiden O'Connell 14 for 20, very efficient. He was accurate at times, 96 yards. It was to the point where I'm like, man, like AP, take him out the game. AOC has shown enough. Then he threw that pick six, and now we're back to like scratching our head and being like, I don't know. Yeah, our tight ends are legit, man. Tight end room too as well. Harrison Bryant, he's solid. If he's your third tight end, I think his role is more of a blocking tight end. But if he can give you something in the pass game too, that's huge because it's all about matchups, right? Who is he going to be going against? If he's going to be wide open, he's able to make those wide open catches because that's pretty much, the type of plays he's going to get, when they're running play action. And the run game is going to be key for the Raiders offense too, by the way. We're going to be running 12 personnel. Nick 209 says Raiders didn't run the ball because of Yeah. Good point. Nick 209, man, good point. Yeah, I almost felt sorry for AOC because he kind of came in, but he was able to come in and hold his own, but he kind of came in a very, obvious situation. I know he came in great field position, by the way, but then there was that, crazy holding call. You already know what it is. Raiders and refs don't get along at all, ever. I don't know what they were thinking about that holding that wasn't there, but AOC was able to, complete some passes, look good, ball looked good coming out of his hand, it's accurate. But then the Cowboys decided to run the ball, and the Raiders couldn't stop it. And they had a long drive. They scored, and by the time AOC had the ball again, it was like, less than 2 minutes left in the game. Obvious passing situation. Playing with backups. At that point, Tucker was out the game, who was having a game too as well. I know we're mentioning Turner, but it is what it is. Diesel, you'll be there for sure. You definitely got to link up, bro. Jalen Harris says, first game, we still beat the crap out of the freaking Chargers, and Chargers fan, if they exist, will cry all the way home. There you go. Hey, man, let them know. Let them know for sure. Leaky says, Minshew did horrendous today. Rather roll with AOC. I know he made his mistakes by throwing that pick. Yeah. And he just, Minshew's a boomer bust, man, at the end of the day. His accuracy can be erratic at times. Like, what was that, 4th down in the red zone where dude was wide open and he just overthrew him for whatever reason? But then he'll drop back and throw a deep ball to Trey Tucker for 48 yards. That's kind of, but then he'll roll out and then instead of throwing the ball away, he'll throw it up for grabs. Wasn't an interception, but it is what it is. I don't know what that means. Yeah, man. Our O-line needs to tighten up on the penalties. Yeah, facts. Trey Tucker. Yep. Hey, Trey Tucker. Hey, great point. Trey Tucker wasn't just doing it on the offense, special teams too. Facts. 100%. I was concerned for Trey Tucker, man, for a little bit because the reports coming out of training camp, he was just dropping passes. And, you heard AP making that comment like, hey, if you're doing it in the game, it doesn't matter as much if you're not doing it in practice. It got to be the complete package for us to trust the player. And I'm like, is that a shot at, Trey Tucker? Because we heard all those reports of him dropping passes, and then he has a good game against the Vikings, and he follows it up with another good game, including on special teams, man. So that's positive right there. Pharaoh, bro, SoFi Stadium's Raiders holiday resort once every season. Oh, man. Hey, Armando, man, you funny as hell, man. Anthony G in the building. He says, in my opinion, O'Connell needs to start. He's younger, puts more zip on the ball. If he's good, we have our QB. I mean, the age thing, I think Minshew's 28 and Gardner's 26. He's an older rookie. He was drafted last year. He's an older rookie. I think, but what you can't say, he doesn't have as much experience as Minshew. So maybe with more experience, he gets better. And there's that factor. You can factor that in. But Minshew at this point, he is what he is, right? You kind of know what you get or you're going to get out of him. So yeah, I've been saying AOC should be the starter, but then, when I seen today, I was just like, Raiders quarterback situation, man. Man, all I gotta say, man, I hate the Atlanta Falcons. I just hate them. I hate them with a passion. The Raiders are actually going to be playing them on Monday Night Football this year. I hope the Raiders blow them out for taking Michael Penix. Man. By the way, the Falcons are sitting Michael Penix. They sat him today, and it's reported that they're going to sit him the next game as well because they've seen enough. Their quarterback situation. Like with Kirk Cousins coming back. And they got him young, strong arm quarterback, accurate. Man, imagine Michael Penix with the Raiders, man. That would have been nice. But, we're going to roll what we got. Tay Adams said it's more comfortable with AOC than having more hospitals. Yeah. No, not that. You got to factor that in because Tay Adams, low key or high key, however you want to look at it, and all his media tour, where he had a podcast, one of his podcast interviews, I think with Shannon Sharp, and he probably said it in some other platforms as well. He mentioned AOC as the guy that he's comfortable with, that he likes, without leaning, because he knows that there's a quarterback battle, but you could tell AOC is kind of his guy. If he had to choose, which okay, makes sense. We seen what Minshew did with was it Harrison Bryant a week before? He rolled out and just threw a pass to no man's land, and just Harrison Bryant got killed by the DB. So I know Devontae Adams is definitely paying attention to that. D Menace, appreciate you coming through, man. One of my mods, man. Got the best mods out here. Yeah, Bradley, third QB, looking pretty good for what was happening. Yeah, I don't think he's gonna even make the team. Maybe practice squad. He might be a practice squad QB. That's Gus Bradley's son. I thought Lobby was gonna be more involved. I don't know if the Raiders are saving him or they're giving the rookie treatment. But I thought Dylan Lobby was going to be more involved a little bit in these preseason games. We haven't seen the type of player that the Raiders and Raider Nation envision him to be. That guy that could be that all around, receiver / running back. Based off what we were hearing from training camp, he looked good. But maybe he needs some time to develop. He's still a rookie. They are very real. I agree. So give me a little bit of grace, because I got this is a post game reaction show, so I'm a react. We're definitely going to overreact a little bit, and then I'm in a few days, I'll be back to do the 50-50 show with my guy Severe, and then I'll have a better idea of where this team is at, and we'll have a better conversation. We'll still have a good conversation right now, but look, at the end, I'm a fan of the Raiders too. I'm not gonna lie. Gene in the building, man. He says, let me make this bigger here. Let's see here. He says, even for preseason, it was hard to watch. Yeah. But come on, man. Like, if you were just being honest, if you were just being honest, like, and you just looked at the quarterback room the Raiders have, and you just compared it to the NFL, and you had to rank it, where would you rank it? If you're just being honest, completely honest, and you just look at the quarterback room in the NFL. I know you want it to be number one, but where is it? Where is it right now? Right now, as we speak, with Gardner Minshew, AOC, and throwing Carter Bradley. Let's throw him in there. We couldn't throw in Anthony Brown. I shouldn't have did that, man. But he did get cut the other day, so he's not with the team. But Carter Bradley, and who did the Raiders pick up this week? They picked someone up, man. He played a little bit in the fourth quarter. If you had to rank it, let me know in the chat, man. If you had to rank the Raiders QB room, just looking at the NFL, just looking at all the quarterbacks, and if you're being honest, are the Raiders in the top half in the NFL? Are they in the bottom half? What makes me excited about this team is not the quarterback room. It's really the pieces that we have on offense, obviously the defense. AP at head coach, what is that going to look like? But that quarterback room, if we're being honest, where do you rank it in the NFL? Leaky says, Minshew reminds me of Amik. He'll make a big play, then disappear in the next one. I like Amik, man. I like Amik as a depth piece at corner. You know what I mean? He has some solid games, but obviously, his size can be an issue going, I guess, boomer bust. Is that what you're trying to say? Boomer bust? Yeah, I agree. Look at our first 3 games, man. Brutal. We have no time to figure it out. We got to come correct. Yeah. We got to take care of the Chargers. Second game is against the Ravens. Let me see here. Check this out here. Let's look at that first 3 games. I know they play. That Ravens game is going to be tough because it's going to be a road game, and we know the East Coast games are tough for the Raiders. 10 a.m. start. That's going to be tough. But if we're looking at it from, we got to take care of the Chargers. Ravens game, that's going to be tough. After the Ravens game, Baltimore Ravens. We can go 2-1. Raiders can go 2-1. Because you got the Chargers week 1. Then you got the Baltimore Ravens week 2. Tough game. Then you got the Panthers, home opener. The second home opener. So the first 3 games ain't tough. The first 4 games, if you're looking at Browns, is going to be tough. After the Panthers, the Raiders do play the Browns. That's going to be a tough team to play, especially defensively. They're one of the best defense in the NFL if you're basing it off last season. Then after the Browns, they play the Broncos. So they got some tough games, but I think Chargers got to be a game that the Raiders got to take care of business. Ravens, that can go either way. I'm a Raider fan, I'm gonna be biased, but I know it's a tough game. Panthers game, Panthers versus Raiders, which is the third game of the season. There you go. I mean, that's a winnable game. That's a winnable game. Trade Devontae Adams for a quarterback? Oh, man. What team, what quarterback would we get in return for Devontae Adams? What team would trade their starting quarterback? Because quarterback, you got to look at it, man. It's a value system out here. Quarterback is the most important position in football, most important position on a team. If that team is trading away their quarterback, there got to be a red flag if it's a starting quarterback, or that team has more than one quarterback. So I don't know what team. I mean, Michael Penix, would y'all do it? I mean, what team would trade what quarterback will we get back for Devontae Adams if that were a trade? And I'm not saying we should trade Devontae Adams. I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm just entertaining this idea right here. AJ online is making me nervous, man. Shaking my head. Yeah, I mean, Jackson Powers-Johnson hasn't. I think he came back last week, but they're taking their time. And even AP, I think, came out and said that he's not going to be starting week 1. And the reason why he was out was because of a concussion. That's the big concern. I'm like, oh, all this time he missed was because of the concussion. That's not good. But they're definitely being cautious with him. He did come back this week, so you know they're taking their time with him. Colton Miller supposedly supposed to be coming back next week. That's a good sign, but it hasn't been official yet. So maybe when those two players come back, then everything will make sense. Maybe. Raider Nation, Vic, it's preseason. Nobody has ever won preseason trophy. Everyone acting like this isn't a new system. Wait until the season starts before jumping off the bridge. Damn. No. I'm not looking at this score right here and saying that, oh, the Raider season's over, man. Like they're 0-2 in the preseason. They lost 27-12. I'm not looking at this. I'm looking at like just certain things that happen during the game that we can actually, you know, project a little bit. Like when you see the backups going against the starters and the Raiders defense, just all they had to do was stop the run, and they didn't do that. You know, and the starters played well. Like they literally played almost the whole entire first half. I know at some point Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins left in the second quarter, but they played the entire first quarter all the way to a certain point in the second quarter. They eventually left, but there were still like at least 6 starters out there. And, you know, Trey Lance was out there driving the team down the field. He had like, what, a 14-play drive? I don't know about that. That's disgusting. Old school FCFS. Appreciate you coming through. Is it just a game thing? How did little ass boy beat us every time he played us? Oh, you talking about Minshew? Hey man, if we're being honest, Raiders defense for years, you know, struggled at times, you know, if we're being honest, and up until certain points like last year, right? But we did I think we lost against the Colts, right? Yeah, we did lose against the Colts, but then our offense wasn't there, you know. it sucks, bro. Like we got the defense. We're confident about the defense, but the offense is the quarterback position is kind of not there. The offense overall, like it's like we got a point though. Minshew might be just the guy that likes to beat the Raiders, but hopefully, if he ends up being the starter, it won't be a terrible thing. Just because it's just look, if you're being honest, just look at the pieces that we have on offense. That's all you have to do. Look at the pieces that we have on offense. It's just gonna make them that much better. I'm not gonna say that they're gonna be elite, but all they have to do is just keep the mistakes to a minimum. I was thinking AOC was gonna be the guy, and he very well may be. But when he threw that pick six, I'm like, man, that's one of the things that were kind of held you, compared to Minshew, a guy that's like throwing the football up for grabs, turning the ball over. And it's not like he did that, but you can just see with his play style, very boom and bust. Always, it's like you could tell, like, a guy like AP who's making that decision, he's probably going to be hesitant to make Minshew the guy, because if the team's identity is going to be running the football and playing a control type offense, it's a tough decision, man. That pick six changed everything. I thought I was all AOC all day, every day, and it still might be the case, but that pick six just is just not the way to end the quarterback battle and be like, oh, okay, he's the starter. Cody Benatello says, I'm not worried about preseason one bit, and Minshew should be the QB1. Okay. We got a Minshew guy. Okay. We'll see. 10 for 21, 95 yards. Let's see. Oh, man. Real men wear black. He says it's time that us Raider fans need to admit that we don't have a legit starting QB. Whoo! Hey, man. He said it. He said it, man. I said earlier, if you had to be completely honest, and if you looked at the Raiders quarterback room, meaning Minshew and AOC, whoever becomes a starter, or if you're just looking at the quarterback room overall, and you just look at the NFL as a whole and just start looking at each team and their quarterbacks, where do the Raiders quarterback room rank? Is it top half, bottom half, 31, 32? Like, where are they? Are they a top 10? Definitely not top 10, if we're being honest, no. Once you start thinking about that, then it just becomes like, man. But that being said, just because you don't have, let's say, the best quarterback room in the NFL, or you don't have the best quarterback, I understand. Like, not everybody's going to have Patrick Mahomes. There are other ways to win. Meaning that other areas of your football team can carry the team. The defense, running the football, pieces that we have on offense. All they have to do is just manage the offense, give the ball to playmakers. Because someone made a comment about, like, AOC, he's not a guy that's he's not aggressively pushing the ball down the field. But hey, look, we have a lot of players that got yak ability, right? Devontae Adams, Brock Bowers, put in Michael Mayer, Jacoby Myers. Throw in the running backs if you want to. It kind of fits in. He kind of fits in with those guys. Let's see, man. Yep. Make sure hit the like button, hit that subscribe, clock in, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Man, I want to keep coming back and doing this. I appreciate the support. And how you do that is by subscribing if you haven't subscribed before. It's your first time joining us. Make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I just wanted to come through, man, and have a post-game reaction show. Just react to the game. You know, hear from y'all and what y'all thinking about. I mean, some of you guys are like, man, it's just hitting y'all like, hey, the quarterback room is terrible. You know, Duet Steam says, don't sweat it on it, guys. Keep it for the season because it's going to be a long, long season. Well, yeah, 17 games. The season hasn't started yet, so yeah, it's definitely going to be a long season. And it's just preseason. Right now, they're just trying to figure out who's going to be the guy. Right now, do we know who it is? I was confident that it was AOC, but then he threw that pick six, and it kind of like, I don't know. Someone made a point earlier about, AOC. Or AP saying that he likes guys that push the ball down the field, get chunk plays. And did AOC kind of show that today or even last week? I'm not sure. I don't think so. He's kind of describing a certain QB like maybe a Minshew. Yeah, I agree. Adams is the key. I agree 100%. Adams will be the key. Adams will open a whole lot when we come back. Yeah. Facts. 100%. Adams will be the key, for sure. Because he's going to be taking most of the attention to the defense. The defense is definitely going to respect him as the number one guy on our offense. So what that means is that we got matchups everywhere. Mayer is going one-on-one. Brock Bowers is going one-on-one. Jacoby Myers is going one-on-one. Then you gotta include the run game. What's this here? Yeah. Anthony G says neither QB played against starters today either. Yeah. And I, you know what? I know that was like the narrative with Minshew about him not playing against starters. It wasn't really about that. It was more so like what did his decision? How did he look in the offense? How was he running the offense? How did he look throwing the ball? And that goes for AOC as well. So it doesn't really matter if he was going against the starters, maybe just a little bit, but in preseason, it's kind of hit or miss because sometimes the other team is not going to play starters, right? It's just you got to look at it from the game within the game. You said 31st. Only team we have better situation is the Giants, maybe. Man. So 31st ranked QB room. Oh man, I gotta now I gotta look around the NFL right now. Let me look at it real quick. NFL. Let's see here. All right, so we got the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray. Nah, they got a better. The Falcons, better. Panthers, Bryce Young bouncing back from a tough rookie season. Definitely got more potential. Former number one pick in 2023. Man, have y'all seen Caleb Williams? Looks good out there, man. Looks like a number one pick, man. This looks like they got a quarterback out there. Chicago Bears got a better quarterback situation. Dallas Cowboys. I know a lot of people are not probably big on Dak Prescott, but hey, he's better than the quarterbacks that we have for sure. Detroit Lions, better. I earlier in the offseason, I talked about Hendon Hooker being a guy that the Raiders should target. Once Jared Goff got that extension, it kind of makes him a little bit expendable because he's a little older. Lions might be open to dealing him because, hey, for the right price, get him for a later round pick before he had his preseason. I don't know how good he's been. I got to check him out in preseason to see how good he looked, but definitely more potential than the quarterbacks that we have. Green Bay, Jordan Love, man, one of the best young QBs in the NFL right now, especially how he finished out last season. Green Bay got a better quarterback room. The Rams, Stafford, better. Vikings, oh, man. I mean, that could go either. I mean, it really depends on how you feel about their, because I know they drafted J.J. McCarthy. He's hurt. He's gone for the season. Then you got Darnold. You know, that can go either way, right? Saints, Derek Carr. Spencer Rattler. Giants for Daniel Jones is, I can't respect it. Jalen Hurts, I like him out there. 49ers might have a QB. Seahawks, Tampa Bay, Mayfield, the Commanders, Jaden Daniels. I could keep going with this, man. But the season hasn't started yet. At the end of the day, some of these teams, it got to play out. We got to give Minshew and AOC a chance. It's just preseason. At the end of the day, let them have their full weapons, the full toolkit out there. Starting O-line, receivers, weapons, defense, and then maybe this conversation changes. Let's see here. Leaguey says we've been struggling on the red zone. I know Bowers and Mayer will make it easier. Yeah, and I think Bowers played a little bit in the first quarter, maybe going into the second quarter with Minshew. I don't think AOC. I don't know if AOC had a chance to play with Michael Mayer. Bowers was supposedly out today, didn't suit up due to injury. I'm not sure how true that is, but, I'm sure they're probably like, you know what? We've seen enough of Brock Bowers. Like, this dude is legit. We're not trying to get this guy hurt. Real Men Wear Black says we're anywhere from 27 to 32, man. That's bottom half of the league. The Raiders quarterback room, if this is true right here, if you were to go with what Real Men Wear Black is saying right now, he's saying 27 to 32, that's bottom half in the league, man. So the Raiders, as a team, have to overcome that. But is it possible? Yeah. I mean, I think they can play better than that. I think there's a possibility for that, especially because we have the weapons in order for them to be successful. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. It's just preseason football. It's just both quarterbacks didn't really do too much to really stand out today. Especially it's a quarterback battle. You want it to be clear cut. That's what everybody's been saying. The Telescos, the APs, they've been talking about. They want a clear cut winner. And at this point, it's not clear cut, but they have to pick a winner. It's me, the light bringer. That's the problem, that they look this bad against second string and practice squad guys, and also Tyree Wilson. The good thing about Tyree Wilson, there's not a lot of pressure for him to be the guy right now. So he has time to just develop, I guess. But yeah, man, so far it doesn't look like he's gonna be a game changer out there. But yeah, they're going against backups. It's vanilla out there, so it's not like, the other team is game planning against their weaknesses. Maybe just a little bit, because last week I seen Max Crosby. And I think shout out to Baldy. Y'all know him. He loves to break down film. He's a big Max Crosby fan. And he showed a clip where Max Crosby literally was getting blocked by like 4 to 5 guys. He was chipped. The guard comes in, helps the tackle. Another guy comes in, and he pretty much says that kind of looks like someone's game planning, right? So they might be doing a little bit, possibly, but, it's still preseason. Hey, my guy Raider Smoke in the building, man. He knows how to come through and support. He says Minshew look more shaky. AOC's week 1 starter. Hey, what I tell you though, Smoke? What I tell you? Hey, man, you said it was Minshew, right? I think you and a couple other people. I'm not gonna say no names. I'm not gonna say no names. But you're one of the guys, man, saying that Minshew was gonna be the starter. But I mean, he might be the starter. Who knows? Because AOC threw that pick 6. I know you don't want to judge him off one play, but man, it's just a reminder that the Raiders are gonna have to draft a guy next year in the first round, for sure. We have to. I don't want us to go pay a quarterback $1 billion contract, and then we can't pay other positions, and then we have a team with a quarterback, but we don't have, enough resources to get players around that quarterback. I don't want that situation. I'd rather the Raiders draft a quarterback, and it looks like if they do that, hopefully it'll be in the first round, but it's going to be tough. If the Raiders if they're successful this year, meaning going to the playoffs, that means they're going to have like a later round pick. So they won't really have it's going to be tough to get to that top half of the first round and get a quarterback. You did, though. I give you that, Severe. For sure. You did, man. You did warn us about Tyree. You better, hey, you know what? You should clip that. I think you should clip that. I mean, I'll try to find it and I'll send it to you, man. But you should definitely clip that. He did talk about Tyree. When Tyree got drafted last year, Severe called in on one of our shows last year, and he went in. He talked about how he did not like the pick, and I'll let him speak for himself. I guess we'll talk about it on the 50-50 show next week. So make sure to tune in. Make sure to hit the notification bell. Make sure to like the video, man. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. We appreciate the support, man. I appreciate the support. But make sure to go ahead and clock in. Tyree says if Tyree is cooked, he needs to line up inside, too slow for defensive end. Did he lose weight or did he put on weight this offseason? He might have put on weight, man. He looked pretty slow out there, but I don't know. I was excited. I was intrigued to see Tyree out there, man. We seen the offseason pictures. We seen the fact that he was out there working with Max and supposed to be 100% by now from his injury. But that being said, we're not relying on him to be that guy, to be the starter opposite Max Crosby. We're not relying on him. He's going to have a completely different role. So the expectations should be let him grow into his position. And if he's a role player, he's a role player at the end of the day. I know it sucks, but you would want a game changer at pick number 7. But there's not going to be a lot of pressure for him to be the guy right now because Kuntz is on the other side. By the way, we need to sign that guy to an extension. We definitely need to. Yeah, I'm just saying, man. I keep receipts. I ain't gonna say no names. Eric in the building, man. You don't pay Minshew that money to be a backup. Well, he didn't necessarily get starter money. In my opinion, he got high-end backup, low-end starter money. That's what he got. So if he's a backup for the Raiders, he got high end backup money. And if he's a starter for the Raiders, he got low end starter money. Because if you look at the starting quarterbacks and what they make, it's not even close to what Minshew got paid. Not even close. Severe says neither one of them earned the job. AOC might win by default, but it's nasty all the way around. Yeah. It looked good, man, until that pick six. I was like, oh, man, just take him out. Don't want to risk him getting hurt. And then that fourth quarter starts and throws that pick six. And I'm just like, man, you doing that against these guys? Imagine week one. What is week one going to look like? Hopefully better than what we've seen today. Up for review in the building. Says, if you ever co-sign Minshew as a starter, you don't watch. Okay, you throwing shots, man. You throwing shots. Hey, man, look, it could go either. It could go either way, man. It just to be fair, man. It can go either way. To be honest with you, really, it's really that close. No, both quarterbacks are literally. It's like this. It's literally like this. Like if we're on a scale, you know how the scale you gotta even it out. It's literally going. It's close, man. It could go either way. You can make a case for both, to be honest with you. But I've always said that AOC should be the guy at least starting out, and then you got an experienced backup, a guy that's come off the bench and be successful. Because last year Minshew was not the starter for the Colts. He was the backup to Anthony Richardson. Richardson ended up getting hurt. And then Minshew came in, and he was solid for the Colts, almost made the playoffs. You know. So as a backup, he's definitely solid. But as a starter, you know, I don't know if we should give up on AOC. Maybe let him, if it's close. If it was clear-cut that Minshew was better, I've always said Minshew should be the guy. But it hasn't. It's just, what are we watching now? Minshew's a solid backup, same as AOC. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. RC, we have no QB. Man, just like that, man. This comes in since we have no QB, man. Damn. Hey, I need to get something for this, man. I got to get E40 on one of the sound bites, man. Myra G in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. He says, yeah, area. I appreciate you coming through. I got to get E40 on the soundbite. That would be perfect. Every time someone say that. My guy Severe, man. Minshew has outplayed AOC every step out the way except this game when it mattered most. That silver of light is all AOC needed to take the job. This sliver of light is all AOC. I don't know, man. I thought AOC looked good in that first drive. Even though what Minshew did better last week than AOC, and AOC, let's just be honest, he only had one drive. He got a field goal, but Minshew was able to get 17 points in the time that he played. But he had more opportunities at it. Then today, we seen what that looked like. I mean, I feel like AOC played better than Minshew overall. He looked better in the offense. He was more accurate. And I know, Severe, you're gonna hate this, but he looked like he had a stronger arm out there. He was able to get a touchdown drive. But then he had that pick six, and then it's just like, man. We were just talking about how like AOC is better decision maker than a guy like Minshew, but then AOC ends up throwing a pick six. Come on, man. Up for review says Tyree was trash at Texas Tech. I have video up and told y'all then he's the same play from his junior year. Dude is decent at D tackle, but PG playing him at DN is why PG needs to be fired. Come on, man. Come on, man. PG's the one who's having them play inside, or having move from the outside and inside. You know, let him play both. Fired? Come on, man.
Hell no. To the no.
He said fired? Come on, man. Hey, Myra says Team Jalen Carter, man. Hey, let's not remind us of that, man. It's old wounds, man. Don't start that. Don't start that, man. Don't start that, Myra. The Severe Raider says, I'm going to laugh if AP names Minshew to start. Hey, man. I'm gonna rewatch AP's pressure after the game, but someone was saying that he wanted a quarterback out there to get chunk plays, to be aggressive downfield or whatever, something to that extent. So I got to rewatch the pressure. But if he said that, and if you think about it, who's that sound like so far from what we've seen? Sounds like Minshew. And definitely, you'll definitely have the last laugh, and anybody that's been rooting for Minshew to be the starter. So, Los Angeles Raider in the building says, did anyone see if Tyree tried any other move beside the bull rush? That's the thing. He has no moves. He might have just that. That's his probably only move. Maybe he adds more moves by next offseason. I don't know. At this point, the Raiders should be negotiating Kuntz's contract right now. They got to find a way to bring him back. Because from what we've seen from Tyree, he's not going to be an impact player. It doesn't look like he's going to be an impact player this year. And I don't think now if Tyree, let's say if Tyree was making plays out there, he looked like he's taking the next step, then it kind of makes Kuntz kind of expendable. You got a guy on a rookie deal, and he's an impact player already. Then all right, makes sense. But it doesn't look like he's going to be that guy right now. And if he's not, man, the Raiders should find a way to get Kuntz on a solid deal. But he, you know how these pass rushers get paid. I know, bro. It was. That's what I'm saying. That's what I said earlier, man. Minshew makes good backup money. And if he starts, great starter money for the Raiders. It's a great situation for the Raiders. So it's not like it was a bad contract. A terrible contract, if y'all want to be critical on quarterback contracts, last offseason when the Raiders offered an injury-prone quarterback in Jimmy G, that contract. And they were able to get out of it this year, thankfully. But that was a terrible contract. AP doesn't agree with you about how clear-cut it is. Hey, man. Oh, man. Raider Smoke says, let's take a deep breath and relax about the play calling this preseason. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't really go in on the play calling because it is preseason. It's preseason. That's one of the things there's certain things that you can't really be tough on. There's certain things you can. Like Tyree struggling, we can be a little bit critical about that. The quarterback struggling a little bit, yes, we can be a little critical. We can be critical about that. Because if the defense and offense are very vanilla out there, then like they know what's going to be happening from play to play. They know what's going to happen. It's not like they're game planning against them, so they're struggling to complete a ball. Like, look, Minshew was 10 for 21, 95 yards. In the red zone, he had a wide open. He had, man, if I got to watch the game again, so maybe I come back and maybe there might be some situations where, it wasn't Minshew's fault. But as of right now, I'm looking at it from perspective as Minshew was erratic. His accuracy was all over the place. My guy Mark in the building, man. Appreciate you for the super chat. Trade for Trey Lance as soon as possible. Better than both our QBs. Whoo! Man, just like that. Would y'all be open to Trey Lance? I don't know, man. I don't know if Trey Lance would be the answer. But he does give you that athleticism at that quarterback position. Definitely has a strong arm. Could definitely run the football, but I don't know. I don't even know about Trey Lance, to be honest with you. He looked better at certain points, but I'm not sure. For a 7th round pick, I mean, what did the 49ers trade? I mean, what did the 49ers get out of that trade for Trey Lance to the Cowboys? And if the Cowboys end up trading Trey Lance to the Raiders, what do the Cowboys want? Because I'm not giving them a 3rd round pick, 4th, maybe 7th round, 6th, 7th, maybe 6th, 7th. I don't know. Oh man, Severe! Don't get Severe started. Don't get Severe started right now. Milk or Beezy, man, appreciate you coming through. Mr. Nice Guy, Tyree Wilson shows nothing new. Yeah, you know it is what it is, man. Maybe he'll look a lot better when you have the full cast out there and he's out there in obvious passing downs inside. Maybe he might look better inside. You know, he's going to have a different role than a Kuntz and a Max Crosby and even a Christian Wilkins. Like, those guys are the playmakers on that D-line. So Tyree might be able to fit in. If he could fit in where he get in this year, then I'm good with that. But I'm not expecting him to be the guy, man. Like, it doesn't look like he's gonna be an impact player at that spot. Now, I wouldn't take it that far. I wouldn't take it. Bradley's better than Minshew and O'Connell? Come on. I mean, Gus Bradley might agree. Pops might agree, for sure. But, you know, he biased. It's Myra G just beat the Winers. Yeah, I hope so. It just ended on a positive note for preseason. But it's preseason at the day. Like, it really doesn't matter if we go undefeated, win all the games, lose all the games. It really doesn't determine the success in the regular season. But if you're a Raider fan, then you know how much we hate the 49ers. And how they didn't win the Super Bowl was just made me smile that they didn't win the Super Bowl last year, because I would have heard it. I would have heard it from a lot of Niner fans. All eyes on G in the building, man. Appreciate you coming through. Man, don't remind me of this, man. Who do they pick, Severe? Your favorite linebacker on the team? Eichenberg? Didn't they pick Eichenberg in the 5th round? I believe that was the time where the Raiders could either went Spencer Rattler, Eichenberg. Raiders went Eichenberg. But the problem is Anthony Brown gave us that athleticism at the quarterback, so he's not even on the roster anymore. Relax. But it's not. I know it's not about just having athleticism. You got to be good at being quarterback. Once you're good at being quarterback, then everything becomes a plus, like your athletic ability, like the fact that you have a strong arm. Like, you know, you get it. I get it. I get what you're saying. It's not just being athletic, you know. But in today's NFL, I feel like that's just a necessary requirement. Like, gone are the days of the Peyton Mannings and Tom Brady's. Like, the position has changed. The way that teams, how athletic these teams are, you know, like how you gotta get a guy that could be able to buy some time, but also be good in the pocket. So the Raiders have someone that could be solid in the pocket at times with AOC, but then he's not athletic. And then you got a guy like Minshew who's not necessarily athletic, but he can buy some time. He could, use his legs to get some yards, but he's not maybe necessarily a good pocket passer. So the Raiders have to figure out who they should have out there. I don't know. At this point, I don't know, man. I was rolling for AOC, but then, hey, like I said, it's overreaction post-game show today. Next time you see me, I'll be back. Damn. Myra just throwing shots out there. She says, nah, you can't trust Trey Lance in that hairline. Damn. Damn. RIP to Trey Lance's hairline. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. My God, Raiders smoke, man. Once again, man, appreciate the super chat. Trey Tucker looks solid, especially as a returner. Yeah, facts. I talked about earlier, man. Trey Tucker, like I talked about before, I said it felt like AP was taking shots at, or he wasn't necessarily taking shots at Trey Tucker, but he made a comment talking about where I believe one of the beat writers asked him about, players showing up during the game, but not necessarily showing up in practice. And AP made a comment saying that if you're not showing up in practice, then we won't have that ability to trust you in games. And what have we been hearing about Trey Tucker in training camp? He's been dropping passes left and right. The guy that, was being hyped up by Devontae Adams early, even AP at some point off season was hyping up Trey Tucker and saying he's a guy that he's excited to see. But in training camp, he was dropping a lot of passes, kind of struggling at times. But then last couple games, we've seen Trey Tucker, man, he's been making plays, especially in special teams, man. That's big. That's big. Especially on this team, man. Everything counts. Special teams on a team where, the quarterback position is not as strong, special teams is going to be huge. Defense is going to be big. Running the football is going to be big, especially when you don't have necessarily the best quarterback out there. Okay. Functional movement in and outside the pocket is the most important thing, in my opinion. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But if you look at the best quarterbacks in the NFL, wouldn't you say that the majority of them are giving you a little bit of, they'll give you the pocket, the ability to be successful in the pocket, but also able to buy some time and play out of structure? If we're looking at that top 10, if we're looking at the top half of those quarterbacks, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are giving you that strength. And I think the Raiders need to get with the times and get one of those guys, whoever that is. It don't got to be Trey Lance for sure, but it could be someone in that first round. And I'm going to keep saying this, man. I hate the Atlanta Falcons. I really do. They really literally did the unthinkable and paid a quarterback $100 million guaranteed or however much in Kirk Cousins, and then went ahead and drafted Michael Penix at number 8, man, or number 7, number 8, one of the other. But either way, I hate the Falcons. Up for review says AOC has no expectations. No one wanted him, and he was forced into starting. Yeah, I mean, no one expected him. I didn't expect him to be even remotely a quarterback that would be good for the Raiders. Just when we even drafted him, because I didn't like that he didn't have any athleticism at all, because I just felt like there was a ceiling for him. But then, I seen that preseason last year, and I'm like, okay, I like his accuracy. He has some ability as a pocket passer. But he was forced to play last season, and we all know the offense as a whole was just terrible, and it just didn't help that, AOC as a 4th-round rookie had to come into all that. And so, to be fair, like that was a tough situation for him to come in. Severe says, I have a similar level of trust in AOC's chin and mustache as Myra has in Lance's hairline. Y'all just clowning at this point, man. Y'all just clowning right now at this point. Hey, bro, just Google. Just check out Google, man. Just Trey Lance, Google. It's they going in on it. Severe be clouded, man. Hey, hold up. Let me check something real quick. Hey, man. Now I just wanted to come through, man. React after the game. Give you an instant reaction. Hey, the season is not over. It hasn't even begun yet. So look, at the end of the day, the Raiders, they're gonna figure out that quarterback situation. We all knew what the quarterback situation was before. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Hey, AJ, I'm glad you agree with me there. If we're gonna agree on something right there, just hate the Falcons. Because Michael Penix with this offense would have been crazy. Would have been crazy. With the weapons that the Raiders have, would have been crazy. That's the excitement that we would have had this season. We're still excited this season just because I like the pieces that we have on offense. I'm still excited about the defense. Am I concerned a little bit with their run defense and defense not looking as strong as I would like? Maybe just a little bit, but hey, look, they're not game planning right now. They're not in season mode, and that's not going to happen until the Chargers game. And the Raiders are going to take care of business. I'm going to be at the game. Hopefully I get to see one of y'all up there. We're going to have a good time. Season not over. It hasn't even begun yet, but there's a lot can happen. The Raiders can make some moves. They definitely have cap space to sign some guys. They want to make a trade. They can do that. Players are going to get cut. Raiders can easily pick them up. A lot can happen. Hey, man, y'all going in on Trey. Y'all going in on Trey, man. Mark, man, appreciate you, man. Great show. Thank you. No, man, I appreciate you coming through, man, holding it down in the chat. One of my mods. Appreciate all my mods, man, coming through. Mr. 1950 in the building. Appreciate you coming through. Make sure to check out his channel, man. Hey, one of the best YouTube channels out there, man. And congratulations on 10K, brother, man. Hey, man, congratulations on hitting 10K, man. I see you, man. You growing. One of the best channels out there, man. But I'm going to have to disagree with you, sir. 49ers. Come on now. You know this is a Raiders channel. We're not going to let you come through and say go 49ers. Come on, man. Hey, didn't you guarantee the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl last year or this year or early in the year? That didn't happen, didn't it? Nah, man, I'm just playing, man. Hey, respect to Mr. 1950, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. Appreciate the support. But I appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in at this point, clock out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff, man. The road to 5K continues, man. I'm right around the corner, so I appreciate the support. Y'all. He said cheated. Oh, excuses, man, excuses. But I appreciate everybody coming through, man. It's been a great show. Like I said, I just wanted to come through. Instant reaction to the game. We'll have 50-50 show next week. Possibly at a new time. Instead of the Monday nights, we might be doing Tuesday evenings. So be on the lookout for that. So that's why you got to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified and you'll know exactly when we'll be going live. And also the community tab as well. So make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I appreciate the support. I just wanted to come through and have a good show. Hey, it's not the end of the world, Raider Nation. It is not the end of the road. It is preseason. It is preseason. It is preseason. But I'm just here to talk to y'all, man. I just wanted to hear from y'all and just, hear what y'all had to say. Because I was watching the game. I'm like, man, I was like, all right, we got our starting quarterback in AOC. When he threw that pick six, I'm like, come on, man. It's all good, bro. Watch the replay. Watch the replay. Watch the replay, man. Myra, you playing too much. You play too much. But yeah, hey, appreciate everybody coming through. Let me end it the right way. Peace.
Just win, baby. Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.